Hello there. It's been a long time between having COVID, all the rain that we had in southern Victoria, and then I'm only just recovering from laryngitis now. I haven't gotten around to actually making this video review. So for all intents and purposes, welcome to the 2023 Trek Checkpoint ALR5. So this is Trek's budget offering for a gravel bike for a base ALR5, which is either in this white with Trek black accents, or you can have it in navy with sort of a Harley Quinn sort of paint scheme. The Trek Checkpoint ALR5 in Australia comes in at $3,500 Australia at the moment as of June 2023. So I've had this ALR5 now since March, and unfortunately that's when I got COVID. So I've been sitting on it for about 3-4 months. So I've had a lot of time with it. I think it's getting towards the 800-900 kilometer mark, which means that for a road bike, I have gotten to know a lot of its strengths, a few of its flaws, and just generally how it feels when you're out on a longer ride. Unlike with a mountain bike, where usually you do a few runs and you get a bit of its character and you figure out what's what, I figured for a proper gravel ride review, I'd actually get to know the bike a bit better before I gave my thoughts. And this is the 4th time I've tried filming this review, unfortunately, because I've never been happy with the script, or I've never been happy with the test center. So what we actually have in front of us is my original home ground, which is the Pominglanna Reserve here at Wagga Wagga, where I learned how to mountain bike ride. But since I've left to be a radiographer in Victoria, it's actually a multi-sport complex. So I'm here on the velodrome over there where there's a bunch of people. That's actually a creek course that I'm itching to get onto with this bike now. And there's all the original mountain bike trails plus a few new ones. So I'm out here now on the Pominglanna Criterium course, and I love this place. I'm not a road rider by any means, but this place is fantastic. So essentially it's road asphalt, but it is the most perfect slice of road asphalt I've ridden in a very long time. And a lot of the characteristics of this track surprisingly remind me of Circuit de Catalunya in Spain. A lot of high-speed corners, a few slow-speed ones, and a few mediums. Why do I bother going with a checkpoint? You know, been a mountain biker for how many years? Love mountain bikes till the day I die. Why buy a gravel bike? Well, it more or less comes down to, if you're a mountain biker and you do want to do some road riding, what road bike do you realistically buy? And I've been asking myself that for the longest amount of time. And on offer from Trek and a lot of other manufacturers, you will find that there's a very affordable road bike option, which is almost a commuter bike. So that's the FX1 from Trek. But unfortunately with the FX1, you have flat handlebars. The components aren't exactly made for speed and precision, but you do make for it up in durability. You get something like the Damani AL2, which is the most affordable actual road bike from the Trek range. And that currently comes in around $1,600 Australia, but you have to do a lot of modification to get it to a point where I was going to be happy. And then of course you arrive at the 2 most affordable actual performance models, which is this gravel bike, the ALR5 Checkpoint, and oddly enough the Monda ALR5. That's their lightweight climber, strangely. And the reason why I chose the Checkpoint will become a bit more apparent later on in the review. But one of the main reasons is the geometry. With gravel bikes, you traditionally have a softer frame, might be a bit heavier, and and generally has a longer reach, which isn't great for road riders wanting maximum narrow efficiency. So an Amonda had a fairly more crimped top tube, longer seat tube, and in general works better as a road bike. But for me, for road riding, no. The performance of the GRX 610 and 810 range is comparable to the Shimano 105. So that's a road bike's way of saying the Shimano XT group set. So handling wise, how do we go overall? It's pretty stable. I'd say that stability is more upfront than what turning response is. With the Domani AL2, that I tested briefly, the turning response was so rapid and so crisp, but at the same time, it was a bit light and jittery over rough tarmac or obviously on gravel. While with this, because it's a bit slackened compared to a traditional road bike, and you have the media tyres, which roughly you should be specking a 40 wide on it, but here nor there, carbon fibre frame up, carbon fork up front, it's an incredibly stable and comfortable ride. I have ridden the O'Keefe rail trail on this, so done a tiny bit of actual gravel riding on it, and yeah, for the 50 kilometers, it was good. Now, reliability is incredible in some regards, but has been a bit hit or miss in other regards. So the incredible reliability, I have to say the GRX components have not skipped a beat during the entire 800, 900 kilometer. And that's with me learning how to use road gears. Like, I am not a properly trained road rider. I may not know how to change gears properly because of my mountain biking hooligan ways. But with everything I've done, the brakes, the shifting has not failed. So overall, the bike has pretty incredible reliability, except for the Pirelli Cinturados in the beginning. It was strange. The Pirelli Cinturados didn't want to interface with the Paradigm rim. I had a lot of sealant leakage issues. Yes, these are set up as tunable, sorry. But I had a lot of bead locking problems in the beginning, and I was losing pressure drastically. And I also got a lot of punctures, which is very frustrating. And that was only within the first 20 kilometers of riding this bike, right after I recovered from COVID. I had a lot of flats. The tyre wouldn't seat. It was honestly frustrating, and then one day everything just clicked and the pressures are fine. I've never had a flat again. So whether or not that's just bedding in issues or that's actually a reliability issue with the hard compound of Cinturado with the Paradigm rims, don't know. Now, aside from the beautiful velodrome and the criterium course that I absolutely adore, why am I filming here at Pominglana? A fairly simple reason. I know that this loop, the Junior Burger loop here at Pominglana, should be all right to properly test gravel riding. As you can tell from the few giggles and my shortness of breath, I'm not really sure how this goes. To be honest, this may be one of my greatest tests, or it may be my downfall. I really don't know. But this is one of the things that I've honestly been wondering, is that how hard can you push the limits of gravel riding on this bike? And I'm about to find out. It's got me incredibly excited and incredibly nervous at the same time. So let's just get on with it. And to begin with, even though I haven't lowered the pressures from the road riding that I just did, it still feels pretty decent. Like, it still feels like a fully rigid, don't get me wrong, but this isn't an absolute torture fest. Like, I've ridden budget mountain bikes that feel worse right now as we start to come to the faster section of the training loop. I'm not going to go over the seesaw. So this is where we're really going to get some speed, and I'm going to have to check my health insurance, but here we go. Magnificent. Oh, sorry if the camera works a bit shaky, but we don't have suspension, but we're flying along on a gravel bike, on a mountain bike course. We're doing it. We are actually doing this. So, as with all things with my reviews, there's some sort of conclusion, isn't there? And the conclusion is, in the best way possible, this is a good bike. And it's in the best way possible. It really is a good bike. And to explain it, it comes down to one core thing. Why does a gravel bike have to exist? Because if you think about it, if you need a commuter bike to get to work, you buy a road bike, which is much faster, is much more optimized for being on the road, or you conversely get a commuter bike, which is much more cheap or much more comfortable. But then if you need to go off-road, then of course you get a mountain bike, or even some of the very casual sort of fitness bikes with semi-slick tires. So why does a gravel bike have a purpose? Why would one want a gravel bike? But when I wanted a bike that I could have fun with, that doesn't exactly exude speed, that had pretty good handling, but at the same time, when you're on the verge of performance, it kind of feels a bit sketchy. But then I wanted a bike with modern sensibilities. I love having hydraulic disc brakes. They are the greatest thing to ever happen to cycling, period. I wanted a shifter system that was reliable, it would not fail me. I wanted really good rubber because I love having the control and grip and feel of a good set of tires. And that's only really exemplified by what a sports car is. And again, it's what makes this an excellent gravel bike. But when you compare it to an Honda, or you compare it to something like a Roscoe, two bikes that are pretty fair in price compared to this bike, but one's a better road bike, one's a better mountain bike. This isn't a great road bike, this isn't a great mountain bike, but what this is just this fun little nugget that's reasonably affordable. Because again, you can get the SL and the SLR checkpoints with carbon fiber frames to make it lighter. You can get Di2 shifting. You can get carbon fiber rims. You can do so many things that are drastically better. But when you look at this little fun machine with its white frame and black fork and little orange accents, you honestly think this is what a sports car should be. This is what a sports bike should be. And that's why in the best sense possible. This is a perfect, good bike. And I love it. It's just, you bring it to this place in Tommy, I worked on for so many years with like council meetings, and now I have this road riding nirvana of the crit course. There's a velodrome, there's a BMX track, and there's all the mountain bike tracks that I made so many mistakes on and learned so much about mountain biking. That this bike, I feel like is at home, just amongst any trails you wanted to, and that's beautiful. So until next time, keep riding and stay awesome.